Hi everyone. In this video, I wanted to show you what it takes to share notebooks that you have created in NotebookLM with your students. This is a question I get kind of a lot, and it's not difficult, but there are some things to just be aware of. So we'll talk through those, and it'll be short, sweet, and to the point. So I'm in my Atoms and Molecules notebook as a teacher. So I have created this. I've got lots of different resources. I've got my flashcards. I've got a slide deck in there. I've got a couple of different videos and an interactive podcast. So there's lots of great resources. And if I want to share these with my students, I could just click the share and then add them or give them a link. That's one way to do it. So you could put that into your LMS, into Canvas, whatever. You can do it that way. So that's the first thing to just be aware of, is that you can give them access both to the full notebook or just to the chat. The difference between that is the full notebook, they're going to not be able to edit it, but they'll be able to interact with the chat and be able to see everything that you have in the studio over there on the right, all of our studio things. So that's one way. And it's good to know that there's some settings you can tweak here. You can configure the chat to be like a learning guide. To have responses be longer or shorter, customize the style the way that you want. So if you wanted to have it be like a Gen Z learning guide, you could certainly do that if you wanted. And so you can save and configure with that button up there. All right, so that's also good to know. There are a couple of other little settings, but they're not as relevant to the sharing. All right, but if you wanted to share this in, say, Google Classroom, I know this is one way that we can get content to our students, whether we use it on a regular basis or we use Canvas or not. I've got one classroom set up so that you can kind of see. If I want to push it out through Google Classroom, all I do is I click on classwork, and then I create anything that I might otherwise do. If I'm just going to create like an assignment, I could make it an assignment and add it to it. But if I wanted to create some sort of a material like Adams studying material, I can do that. And then I can just click on NotebookLM and choose how I want it to be done. I can create a new one, or I can select one that I already have. And so I've got one here that I can select, obviously, or if I've copied that URL to a public notebook, I could do it that way. Now, if you are creating a new one, you can do it with a topic that you already have in Google Classroom. So if I am just going to go ahead and select my existing one and attach it, and then you can see it in classwork in the feed, in the stream, it shows up and you can see it wherever it is. So class learning tools that's the way that I attached it this time. If I wanted to go and make it be a post, you would click some other way of doing it. So lots of different options there. When the students get to see it, I will pop over to a student side account. If I go to Google Classroom as this student, I can see what it looks like when I pop into this. So I've got where I posted it first time, but also if I want to go into classwork, I can see it as a class learning tool here, or I can see it as this learning guide here. It's attached to this post back in October. And then when I open that, now here's the big difference. I can't make anything in the studio as a student. I can just interact with things that are already made. And that's really cool in and of itself. So as I'm able to, just use that to study, it can be a really great resource. Now, students can also make their own, and you can encourage them to find their own resources. But with your notebooks, students aren't obviously going to be able to add sources to those. So that's the advantage of having, you share your notebook out, is that they're not going to add a lot of extra things that you may not need them to worry about. Unless they're doing it on their own. So hopefully this has been helpful in getting your notebooks out to students, and I would encourage you to just reach out if you have any questions, or if you do something really cool with it in your classroom, let me know. Thank you.